up, you guys? Welcome back to Poly Vegan Kitchen. Today we are making this delicious plant-based stuffing. Keep watching to find out how. Here are the ingredients you're going to need for today's recipe. Bread, plant-based butter, celery, onion, sage, pepper, and veggie broth. You're going to want to start out by drying out your bread, and you could either do this by leaving the bag open and letting the bread just dry out for a few days, or you could put it in the oven and let it bake for about 7 to 10 minutes. It just really depends. And you want the bread to be more than mildly toasted, but not all the way toasted like croutons hard. That's the best way I can explain it. Then you're going to add a generous amount of sage and be sure that every piece is coated. Next, you're going to cut up some celery. For this recipe, I cut up 7 sticks of celery, but this is really more preference. If you like more, just add more. If not, just do less. Next ingredient is an onion. Once the celery and the onions are all cut up, we are ready to saute. For a safe standard measurement, I would say about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, but sis went in a little heavy on the butter. Don't judge me, y'all. Now we're gonna start off by sauteing our celery. Now, there's no really correct or wrong time measurement for this part. This is really all preference. I personally don't like the crunch. Save the crunch for the captain, okay? Because I don't like the crunch of the celery in my stuffing. So you're just gonna keep sauteing it to your preferred texture. And then about a minute or two before it's done, then you can add the onions and keep sauteing until translucent. Now, I just happened to season this before I added the onions, but you could do it after you add the onions. I mean, it doesn't really matter when you add it. I don't think it matters, but I just did it before the onions. So I added pepper and of course a generous amount of sage. Sage is like the key ingredient in this entire recipe. Once the celery and the onions are done sauteing, you're going to add this to your bread mixture, and then you're just going to mix until everything is thoroughly mixed. Now you're going to add veggie broth just to be sure that it's assisting the butter in making sure that everything is wet. You don't want to add too much that it becomes soggy, but just enough to wet the entire mixture. Then throw it into a buttered pan, put it in the oven at 350 and bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. And there you have it, a flavorful, delicious, buttery stuffing for your plant-based Thanksgiving. Shout out to Manu for the recipe, which really, thank you Auntie Skady for this recipe. This is literally the best stuffing ever. Before bringing on my taste tester, I wanted to share Philippians 4:8 with you guys. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. And just like the stuffing recipe, I believe that Philippians 4:8 provides us with ingredients that could help make delicious dishes in our own personal lives. Maybe a delicious dish of kind words, a dish of how we treat each other, a dish of how we dress, maybe a dish of our health, how we treat our bodies, which is the temple of God. So now I hope that every time you guys take a bite of stuffing, you will think of Philippians 4:8. Now, back to our taste tester. What do you think, Lupe?
It's delicious.
And there you have it, another satisfied Poly Vegan kid. Thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social media platforms, and don't forget, no matter where you are in your journey, there is always room for you on our table right here at Poly Vegan Kitchen.